Hey, what's up, dudes? Alright, here we go. It's a new day. Um, Yesterday, what did we do? We did save logic revisions and code test in SQLite Pi. Final testing was a success. We tested pretty much all the code that we had been working on, and everything worked perfectly. We just had to make a couple minor changes, but it's, you know, mostly was fine as it was, which is good news for me. It means I'm getting better at writing code. I don't have as many bugs as I used to. So we have perfected the test code in SQLite test associated with save logic functions, stable save function, and update database stable save state. And we tested all code, verified working 100%. We copied tested code back over to save logic Pi, overwriting the old versions, and we stopped at line 419 in SQLite test. So let's go over there to line 419. Alright, so we stopped here. We add note here that reminds us this code is working and has been thoroughly tested. Okay, cool. So we'll say this is going to be save logic Pi test code, testing various sections from save logic Pi, and making improvements. All of this code has been tested and is working 100%. Okay. I continue working on next system implementation. So we're actually, yeah, so we're done with this. We can go ahead and close this file out and make sure our database folder is empty. Okay, what's next? So we have timestamp last saved. Ensure that for reconnect logic we are using timestamp last saved in the database files to check which is the most recent, since sometimes backup is more recent than stable in certain scenarios. Oh, we already did that. Verifies we are always loading in the most up-to-date data. Apply section. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Show for reconnect logic. Yeah, actually, this is gonna be for reconnect, so I'll put that in pressing issues. I almost deleted that, but we actually need that. Okay, apply section save logic. Ensure notes in this section are all followed concerning proper save logic in client Pi's apply section. Basically using stable versus unstable checkpoints and properly identifying handling them. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just delete this because that is something I'm not sure about. Okay, so hello? Yes, this is he.
Hey, this is Naja from Arkham. I was calling to confirm your appointment on Friday at 4 with Miss Dale.
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so what is next? Well, I guess. Oh, I remember where we were. We were, okay, so this. Let's see. The one I just deleted here. Apply section save logic. So let's. This is talking about in client. So this is in client Pi. I remember. So let's open up client. Doofus. 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 Okay, there we go. And it's just loud. Alright, that should be that should probably be better. It was probably a little bit loud. Anyway, alright, now back to this apply section, save logic, and client. So we're gonna jump over to that. Let's go ahead and minimize this. If name is equal to main, try while true. Okay, we're gonna have to change the name of these functions, I think. Let's open that file over here. So the name of the function now is save database setup. And we're gonna change this to be to include function, because that's just how I like to name my stuff. If it's a function, I like it to have the name function in it. That's just how I do it. Alright. Oops, and I just changed that backup file, and I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, we don't want to change the backup file. Yeah, this code, we can actually delete that backup file. We don't need that anymore. Okay, and now we have visual data save function. Oh, okay, I see why it's, I was wondering, why is it white colored? Well, it's because instead of so instead of importing the functions directly, these functions are now basically attached to the database class. So we're not actually going to import the functions themselves. We would import the object, the instance, that is. This is going to be changed. We're going to change this to be have function. Alright, so let's go through this. So we actually don't currently create the we actually currently what the not the best drawing, eh? We currently don't have the database instance being created. So I think what we should do is create, say, database equals database. Yeah, so this is our instance, and we're gonna import from save logic. We're just gonna import database, and I think that's how we would do that, right? And then let me see if we do from save logic elsewhere. Alright, so this is going to be changed as well. So we're actually going to change this to be import database, and then we're going to find this function here. And this is now going to be database dot visual save data function, visual data save function. I think. And then we have custom appendless save function. Since I'm moving this to custom appendless save function, this isn't necessary here anymore. Leaving down where transfer change is valid. Okay. Yeah, that can just go away. We don't need to hold on to that. Replacing below code section, leave code section until I'm sure this form is 100% valid. Okay, so this below is being replaced by the above function call, commenting this out as it has been modified and moved to save logic custom and the save function, leaving until I'm 100% change is valid. Okay. So we really need to test this function. We didn't really test that function. So this function is used in custom append list pi in various methods to handle saving data to database. Use in append. It is used in append pop clear. The params are method string, type string, the string AP or C representing which method is to be used. Card group name, type string. The purpose is the card group's name, including the P1, P2 prefix to be used to access create database entry. And then the item is type card list, custom append list, or integer for .pop. Purpose is the item that is being appended popped from the associated database entry. Defaults to none in the case of clear. Okay, so we have this visual card group name tube. And we really don't need to define this every time we call this function, right? It would be smarter to just have this exist as an attribute, I think. So we can change this to be an attribute. So what we need to do is go ahead and change this to be self dot. So let's go ahead and move this. Up here. Whoops. There we go. Alright, so we have custom append list save function. This is the one we're going to look at. Let me compare this to the code that is right here. So is this the exact same code? If self card group name is in self visual card group name tube, if card group name is in self visual card group name tube, self dot cursor dot execute card group exists. If card groups exist is equal to 1. So you select a value from save data or object name. Okay, so we load in the saved data and then we modify it. So we do if card name is in if it's in the visual name tube, then we check to see if the card group name exists, or we grab the associated data with that card group. using card group exists. If card group exists is equal to 1, then we go ahead and select value from save data where object name is equal to card group name. So this is retrieving the data. Then we, since blob type, it would be serialized. Okay, so yeah, serialized card group data is equal to self cursor fetch 1 and index 0. And then card group data list is the deserialized version of it. Okay, else, that means the card group does not exist in the database, so we just create an empty list. Since it's the first time it would be added. So then we say if method string is equal to a, so if we're appending, and in this case it would be append, item type is equal to type of item. So this would be, in the append method, it would be a card list or custom append list. If it was pop, it would be an int, and if it was clear, it would be none. So if item type is equal to card, then card group data list append item ID. If item type is equal to card group data list dot append item ID. Okay. And then else, that means it's in a list or a custom append list. Note that we have to account for custom append list instances and regular list instances since they need to be saved as well. After reviewing this, decided to keep else instead of elif equal to custom append list only since I'm not 100% sure that we don't sometimes add regular non-custom append list instances to these card groups, therefore including them just in case they are, since we would want them to be saved in the case that they are. Okay. Save ID list is equal to an empty list. So if it's a custom append list or a regular list, we create this empty list, we iterate through the list, we append each item, each card from the list to the save ID list, then we append that to the card group data list, and if the method string is equal to p, then card group data list pop item. Popping from reflected card group. If method string is equal to c, card group data list dot clear clears reflected card group. Visual data save function. Card group name. Card group data list. So we pass the card group name and the card group data list. Okay, so the card group name is going to include the P1, P2 prefix, and that will pass in object name data. It will serialize the data, then it would insert the object name and associated value into the database. Gotcha. Yeah, that seems good. Okay. That seems... There's nothing wrong with doing that. So that's basically this. Yeah, it's literally the same exact code. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this because I'm pretty certain this is yeah, there we go. Okay. So now and it does have method string and then card group name and then item equal to none, but in this case it wouldn't be equal to none. Gotcha. Okay, so what do we do now? Okay, now we're gonna test it. So let's bring this over here, and then we'll bring back SQLite test. We'll put it over here, and we will add in I guess what we can do is we can directly import. So we'll comment that out. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right here we'll have let's see. We'll call this custom append list save function testing. And we'll go ahead and import, or from save logic, import database. And then we're gonna do, we need to test this function. To test it, well, we need to have a card group so we can create let's see. So there's a few things that we have to have before we can test this. So we need to have, if card group name is in, visual card group name too. So first of all, we need the card group. So normally that's created in setup, I believe. So couldn't we just import setup? Couldn't we just do that? Would that be an issue? We'll say from setup, import setup, and then we'll do, so we'll just run setup, and let's see if this throws an error. Because there's a lot of other things that go. Okay, it says database is not defined from save logic. Okay, I see why. Needs to be right there. Now that should work. Okay, so it worked. Alright, cool. So that creates the card groups for us, I think. Yeah, so that creates the card groups, that creates the cards. So what we can do is we can append, or rather, let's see, what do we need to do next? So method string, card group name, if card group name is in, okay, so we have to call this function eventually, so we're going to say database dot custom append list save function, and then we're going to pass in the method string. In this case it would be A. Then we're going to pass in the card group name, which in this case would be we'll just say p1.hand, and then the item that we're appending, and we'll just say, so this would be a card, right? Right, so let's do, so we need a card. Let's just get a particular card. We'll say the card equals, how do we do this? We need to import master deck. Setup creates the master deck, and then it setup runs all this stuff. Yeah, so it runs all this and it creates the double deck and everything. So we should have access to the deck already. So we should just be able to say master deck. I don't know. Don't we have to import master deck? But like, I'm confused a little bit by this. Whenever we create it, doesn't that mean it exists? Like through setup, we don't have to import it. We can just say the card equals master deck at index, 0. I feel like there's going to be something wrong with that. Well, actually, it didn't throw that. It didn't throw an error there. And then we can just do print the card. That's a good one. Okay. And then the item here would be the card. Let's try to run it now. Master deck is not defined. Now this is a little bit strange to me. I thought since we import setup and then we run setup, like wouldn't, and we create, oh, it's importing deck and it's creating the master deck. So we can't access because it's attached to that object. So we have to import that object. It's a little bit confusing, is it not? Imports and stuff still get me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Imports are still. I've worked a lot with imports, and they're still like it's a little confusing sometimes. How everything works with like instances and non-instances, functions, and I think I overcomplicated in my head, but it's not as simple as I'd like it to be. So now this should work. Okay, so we get an error. None type has no attribute execute. Okay, so this is because that database isn't established. So we need to run database dot save database setup function first, and so now we're getting the cursor execute select exists from save data, but it says no such column. Okay, right, because oh, so if there's no, well, this is actually like means we need to fix this code, I think. So let's go over there and look at this 56 right here. Select exists. So if it doesn't exist, it's gonna see, so this is like that other piece of code where I didn't realize we're gonna have to do like a try except for this, because when you run this execute, it returns 1 if it exists, but if it doesn't exist, then it actually just throws an operational error. So this has to be done in the context of a try except. So this needs to be changed to try and then accept. And must use try because we'll throw if column doesn't exist. If the column doesn't exist in DB yet. Why does everything have to have exclamation point after? Alright, so let's see. So if cursor execute select exists, select one from save data where object name is equal to card group name, blah blah blah. There, so what we need to do is we'll say, well, we might be able to just I feel like we should put this up here. Otherwise, if it doesn't exist, card group exists equals false. Okay. Then, if card group exists is equal to 1, then cursor execute select, okay, and then else. Yeah, so this should be good now. This should have fixed that issue. And now we have an error with 69, where we say type is equal to card. This card is not defined. Did you mean? So class card.card.
Something referred to as technology has made this possible. But technology doesn't happen spontaneously. It's generated by people responding to business and social needs, who look to science for new capabilities. Some technologies, like the computer, develop in tune with our needs and perform in very dramatic ways. In just 2 decades, speed of computers has improved over 100 times.
Bitch. Okay, so it is a card type.
The development of miniaturized circuitry has revolutionized the computer industry. 20 years ago, a computer that cost $1 million and filled an entire room had less capability than an 11-pound desktop computer today. Computers that allow you to program your microwave oven, TV, radio, or video cassette recorder,
type equals type of item. So this needs to be... I don't know why this... Why does this not work? If we have to import card to save logic, is that the issue here? Is that the problem, bro? If the string is equal to item type is type item. If item type is equal to card. So this is supposed to be card. There we go. Now it works. Now we can write it like this and it prints card type. So it's class card.card and then that's equal to just card. Okay. So that works. Honestly though, we don't need to... We can do string item type, and we can do string of type of item. String item type is equal to card. And then we don't have to import this anymore. Fucker. Okay. A string item type is equal to card. Card. Okay. If card and string item type print card type, so it printed card type, but then we get the error at... So this is... What is this? Syntax error, and this is going to be at line 48. So let's go up to line 48. Cursor execute, insert into save data, on conflict, do update, set value. confused here. Object name, serialized data, serialized data. Do we need a comma there? I don't think that's going to be the problem. Let's see. So it's doing 83. It's going to 83. Well, this is in custom appendless save function, which is the visual data save function card group name and the card group data list. Oh. Card group name and then card group name data list. Object name and then data. Okay. And the card group name here is P1 hand. Okay, and then it goes to 48 from 83. And then it's saying there's a syntax error here. And it's an, is it because of that? No. This is the type of stuff I pass to ChatGPT. ChatGPT gonna see this. Why error? You're getting error because you're passing parameters didn't execute. You're using f-string but still have placeholders. If you're using variables go directly into the string, but you're also passing a tuple of values, suggesting you want to use parameterized queries. I know. It just let me know. So, right, this is no longer part of the F string doofus. Duh, see? Got him. See, ChatGPT was wrong. Like, well, it wasn't wrong per se. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of right, but it was kind of wrong too. But it helped me to figure out where I was messing up at. So we actually, yeah, we don't use silly goose. Yeah. It's a weird combination, dude. It's a weird syntax. So now that should work. Let's see. What? 48, same thing. Didn't I have an issue with this and I couldn't figure it out with the upsert? Like, it wouldn't work. Can we go through this? What is it saying? Using F string. Okay, we got rid of the F string. The tuple is malformed during which creates a set. Yeah, we got rid of that. Too many parameters versus placeholders. You have 3 values passed, but only 3 placeholders. You have 3 values passed, but only 3 placeholders, and the third one is inside an update. Okay. So this is supposed to be... Is it supposed to be like this? Now it's saying execute expected at most 2 arguments, but got 3. Okay, we don't have to put this inside of a parentheses. Gotcha. Gotcha. If we only have 1. I see. Oh, I see. Is that right now? Yeah, baby. There we go. There we go. So whenever you're using do update set value equal, you don't put it inside of parentheses, inside of a tuple. Since it's just 1 value, you just leave it as a straight up placeholder. The only reason you use a tuple here is because you're using more than 1 value, element, whatever you want to call it. So there we go. All right, now let's see. Okay, so this is working. We'll get rid of that. Else we get rid of that shit. Now so it's running. And item the car. So we'll do it for when it does exist. This will be 1. And then we're going to check for when it doesn't exist. This will be 2. And then this should be 3. And then this should be 4. So like, we're just seeing which pair together, and then print 5. And then if card is item sign. So maybe a little bit extra, and this will be print 7. And this will be print 8. And then this will be print 9. Okay. So when we run this normally, we get 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So it goes to try. Well, it's always gonna do the try, right? Well, yeah. So like this, we can get rid of the 1 right here. We'll put it under it. There we go. So it should be 1, 2. So in this case, let's run it again. So we get 2, 4, 5, 6. So we get the exception because it doesn't exist in the database. And let me just delete this database first. Now let's rerun it. Okay, so yeah, that should have gone to 2. because if the column doesn't exist in the database. Right, so we verified working. Now let's see if it does exist. So if it does exist, then we would do an insert into, let's see, we're gonna serialize the data, and then we're gonna right here. So serialized data equals well, it would be the card. Let's just do the card at index 0. Well, that's fine. We can leave that as is. This one will be master deck at so this would be, did I copy this already? Pickle dumps, serialized data would be pickle dumps, master deck at index 1. So we're, wait, that's not right. We'll do from player import P1, and then we need to do P1.hand.insert, and we're gonna insert master deck at index 1. Insert expected 2 arguments, it got 1. So the index and then the object. Okay, so we're gonna insert it at index 0. Alright, now let's print P1 hand. Let's see what we got there. Okay, there you go. So that's working. Now we need to serialize the data here. Let's pickle dump. Say P1.hand. Well, let's do like this, and then we'll say P1 and ID list equals, and we'll just have like this card as, we'll have 2, we'll have 3, and then 5, and actually don't need to do that. And then we can just have the P1 hand ID list. Now we're going to insert into save data the values P1 hand, and it's going to be the serialized data, which is this list. Then we have the card, which is the card that we're going to be adding. We're going to then so at this point when it runs, there should already be an entry in the database for this data. It should already be in there, so whenever it should go select exists like one from save data where object name is equal to card group name. So there should be data in that database already. So it should enter into 1. It should go 1, and then 3, and then 5. Got an error here. Unique constraint failed. Save data object name. Do we have to delete this database probably first? So now we get 2, 4, 5, 6. Unique constraint failed. Oh, it should be a upsert. So since we already have it in there, we already know it's in there, we can just comment it out, and then we don't have to do any of this. We don't have to set up the DB either, because it should already be set up. Well, it actually does have to do that because it... So now it's still saying 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh shit. Running out of gas here. Getting kind of tired. Oh fuck. Okay. Straight up. I'm just getting sleepy. So this does things. The fuck is this? Let's go back over here. So it's printing out 2 instead of 1. So is the problem... Let me go through, what does database... So it's so we're calling the custom append list save function. We're passing in p1 hand as the card group name. The item is equal to the card, and it should say if card group name is in yes, that should be p1 hand. Yeah, so that one should exist. So it should go try self.cursor, select exists, select 1 from save data where object name is equal to card group name. But it's saying hold up. Maybe it's just the way it's printing that out. Well, it's not even going into 1, so it's just going into accept. So it's not, that's not the problem, it's going into accept. See, I'm kind of sleepy, you can tell. So accept print 2 verified working card group exists. If the column doesn't exist in the database, at print 2 verified working. Well, I want it to print the exception. We'll say accept. What is it called? Accept as E. What's the syntax for this? Accept exception as E. So then we'll do, let's print E. What's the issue here? No such column, P1 hand. select value. So, but it's saying that there's not a column associated with P1 hand. But there should be. It should exist, right? Because we already added it. Let's see. Let's run this again. Unique constraint failed. Save data.object name. So it's trying to insert into save data values where P1 hand serialized data. And it's saying it can't because it's already there. So if we were to do select exists here, why would it not see database dot cursor dot execute? Let's run it from there, see what we get. $549 database cursor execute. Oh, card group name is not defined. Okay, let's do where object name is equal to P1 hand. Let's run. Okay. And then we went to no such column P1 hand. So it's throwing the same error. So we're gonna stop here. I'm just a little tired. I don't know exactly what the issue here, because this should be in the database, because we entered it already in the files right there. So like it should be there. Oh well, no, that wouldn't be right. Like, do we have to serialize it first? I mean, technically, I guess maybe we would. Is the issue, let me see, is the issue the fact that P1 hand is not serialized? Should it be, since in the DB it is a blob? Well, no, because the that's not supposed to be a blob. The object name is text. The value is a blob. So that's not the problem. I don't know exactly what the issue is. We're just gonna go ahead and stop here though. Say unknown issue with accessing the below line, with running the below line. Alright, so this 549 in SQLite test. Stopped at line number 549 in, what is this? SQLite test. SQLite test dot py 549 in SQLite test. Yeah. This is gonna be till 11:42. began testing the rest of the code from save logic.py that has been yet to be tested, i.e. Visual data save function and custom append list save function. Now we're going to stage commit our changes here. 11, 43, 11, 44. So that's an hour and 15. Title would be save system, save logic, which code to SQLite. Alright, now we can go ahead and do our local backup real quick. Alright, dudes. Alright, I'm gonna eat a little snacky snack here. Have a little bit of cereal or some chippies or something. Maybe a little, I don't know, some little snack. I'm gonna go to the gym. It's heavy bag day. I'm actually tired. I don't even feel like going. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just like dragging ass. Probably gonna pop another caffeine or drink a little coffee or something to wake me up because I'm kind of dragging ass right now. Yep. So we'll be back. Hopefully, do another session after. Hopefully, we'll see. That's the goal anyway. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Maybe, maybe not.